Okay. We're so professional.
We're professional. Today we're going to be looking through... Oh, I just got a bit of a watery eye. Let me just get that. Yeah, we're going to be looking through my track called Whispers of Eloria.
I'm glad you know what it's called.
And we're just going to sort of zoom in on certain aspects. We have a lovely lady called Lara, who's supplied some vocal beautifulness. We're going to be highlighting that. And we're going to be looking at a more grungy section, which I call the dirty section. And then we're going to look at more vocals and flutes and deduks and things like that. Okay, hello John.
Hi Alita.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to getting into this track with you and seeing what we did.
Yes, me too. I've forgotten most of it.
I have as well. That's great.
So, John.
Yes.
We've worked together for a little bit, haven't we?
We've done quite a few things together, particularly the joys of online mixing, which has been really great. So being able to see what you do on your computer from mine, really good fun. Amazing.
Yes. And how would you describe what you do?
I craft sound from the multiple tracks like this into stereo, and then when I'm doing mastering, it's doing the final quality control polish of that track before people get to release it, or get to hear it rather when it's released.
Let us begin.
Lovely. Well, this is the entire project, all nicely grouped, and all those end up being bussed to this section here. So where would you like to start off, I was going to call you Lara then.
Oh, close. Yeah, let's start with Lara's first little vocal performance.
She's
very
good,
nice.
isn't she? Yeah,
Such a lovely voice. Nice.
Absolutely. Reverbs on the general track, if I compare it at the moment, we've got 2 reverbs. Basically one, which is Seventh Heaven, which is my main go-to one these days. Very short, 1.6. It's a scoring stage, so this is really about gelling all the room together of the instruments and trying to give it that soundtrack sound. If I just play a little bit, get in there. So really here, it's just that room sound, which I've blended everything together in that. And then some of the instruments go to this hall reverb, which is 3.3 seconds. And not much, the choir is going into that as well. That adds a bit more top end. I've rolled off the low end on here as well. But then in contrast, you have Lara's vocal, which if I click on here, shows is going to this Seventh Heaven, which is a lovely 6.4 seconds. As a soloist, it just... Oh, yes. Should we hear a bit of that on its own? Just, how long is that? Okay. So, quite a long one for her. I always like doing a longer reverb. It's got this pre-delay of only 7 milliseconds, so it helps the vocal just come forward in front of the reverb. But it also, the longer one is a contrast to all the other reverbs, which basically it's a short reverb on the scoring stage and a little bit of a longer on the hall. And then it gives her the presence. And whenever she is singing, it fills the sound, basically. Before that, we've got Waves Arvox, which is just a really nice, straightforward compressor that does its thing on vocals. And that's only taking a few dB off and managing that. Micro Shift from Sound Toys, it's a width control. So if I take, let's do, what am I doing? And that. turn that off and just listen to her vocal on its own. Few clicks in there. I'm not sure if those came through, but that's just the system. Now with that on. Can you hear the difference on that?
Guys in the comments.
Right in the comments, yeah. So without it, hopefully you'll hear her voice right in the middle. And then with it on, you should hear that. I'll emphasize it a bit more so you get the effect. Did you get that?
I got it, John, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really doing this chorusy effect, sort of really wide thing. So just mixing a little bit of that in just helps make, fill out the vocal a bit, give it a little bit of width. Then I've got the little Waves CLA 2A compressor on. Yeah. So very subtle compression on that vocal that is just being used more or less for that. And just before that, we've got the lovely black box, which is adding no saturation. I don't want saturation on the vocals. I just wanted some tube harmonic stuff going on with the pentode and the triode, just to add a bit of color and bulk up the sound. And that's about it, really, I suppose, on there. There's EQing, but that could get lots of complexities. Okay, and a bit of automation on there as well. So as much as I only had that little compressor doing this little bulky bit there, I do quite a bit of manual control on vocals.
A lot's been put in to make a luscious sound, and that's what John does. Makes the luscious sounds.
I'm gonna have to, I'll have to take that. John Elleson-Hartley, luscious sounds.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
It does. I'll pay you your 10%. Okay.
10? Come on.
Okay, 9.
Oh, that went the wrong way. All right then. So the next section. Next? This is the more sort of dark section, I suppose. I sort of imagined it being like a boss, like a final boss music type of thing.
Oh, that's a good bit. Always makes me smile.
How did you make it even more, I don't know, crunchy, I suppose? I think it was like mainly the percussion.
Ah, okay, yep. Supercharger. We supercharged it with, this is Native Instruments, I think. Nice little compressor, which you can just add some character and add some saturation and on some percussion things. Just gives it a bit more welly. I'm also mixing 37 wet and 63 dry. So a bit of parallel compression. If I crank that up, it would be quite noisy. Okay, so without that supercharger, it's rather nice because Alita's done it. But now if you listen to... Yes. Is it still ticking? So now if you listen to that low end, particularly the punch sound, the supercharger just gives it that welly. Without. Really helps that come through. And then if I push that in the mix. So this is without the supercharger, with the mix. It's almost disappeared. So that's just giving that bit of a bump. Again, it's all those subtle little things that you put in. Nothing is often that distressed or different. It's all just about enhancing little parts and what we can do with them.
Respect.
Respect. What's next, Alita?
What is next? Good question.
So the automation there, you can see it's just emphasizing that crescendo. So when earlier I showed the compressor wasn't doing anything, with the build up, it was just nice to let that ramp up a little bit more. And you wanted the duduk, which is this little fella.
Yeah, did he do anything to it?
It's got quite a do 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 tone to it, which I think is that the EQ is reducing this little section here. Yeah, that note that's here, have a listen, take that off. Sort of just boxy sounding. So removing these section, or this the sound down here that's a bit muddy, that already brightens it up a little bit. I've raised the top end here by 4 decibels on the waves red. Am I saturating? Yeah, I'm driving it a little bit as well, just to give it a little character. So I'm adding a bit of top end so that Lara's vocals sitting sort of in that high mids of the audio, and then you're going to have a little bit more of that breathiness of the duduk coming out. And to add to that, then I also added the SPL Vitalizer.
What's it do?
It adds harmonics.
Ooh.
Let me just grab that, give you an example. It's always good just to throw stuff up on full, just say, oh, that's what it's doing. Do you hear that real top end? It's just too much. And the same with this one. If I crank that up and that up, and if I just turn it off, because you'll notice it. So normally I would probably be wanting a bit more of that warmer sound for it. But in this case, I need it to stand out with Lara's vocal. So I want that breathiness, just so it's like, ooh, you can hear a soloist, but it's not overpowering. So then if we put all of that back on, it's very subtle again, but the ear is just picking it up a bit more. And there's the infinite Lara. How's that?
That was good.
What's next? Oh, we've got you.
Yes.
So your solo in here. We have a little bit of compression on there, but that isn't just reverb. You've got a dry signal at the moment because I don't have the scoring stage on. Dry on the left, but this lovely sort of delay sound using Echo Boy by Sound Toys. It's got quite a bit of feedback going on, so it lasts a while.
Boy!
Echo Boy! You're going to have to say that way every time now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, so let's have a listen to this. So as soon as I stopped, the left just disappeared because that's really dry at the moment. But you have this effect that's over on the other side. I just really like that.
Me
And then
too.
if I turn the scoring stage reverb on. And if we play it with the track. Is there anything else you'd like to look at?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, gorgeous track. Loved it.
Well, thanks, John. Well, thanks for doing your sorcery magic on it. It for sure just elevated it, made it sound better.
Well, but this was also a mix master as well, so
Yes.
I was mastering in a chain that I set up already. Too much to go into there for your short little video of explaining little bits. But this isn't just a mix.
Yeah.
Okay, until next time.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra.